Hey guys, I hope y'all are doing well today. So I have been doing a whole lot of product reviews on my channel lately, and that's mainly because there's a whole lot of makeup that keeps coming out even with the pandemic going on. So today I just wanted to do like a roundup of all of my current favorites because some of them have changed lately simply because I've been, trying out a lot of new stuff. So it's going to be a mix of some products that are tried and true to me, so you've seen me use them on my channel a lot, and some products that are relatively new. You may have seen me use them here and there, and they have slowly started to replace some of my old like go-to staple products. So we're going to be doing like this everyday spring makeup look using all of my current favorites. So if this is your first time on my channel, thanks so much for clicking on this video. My name is SonyaNicole, and I post new videos here every week, including some stuff for makeup lovers who are 40 and over. So please consider subscribing while you're here today. I would really love to have you join the channel, and I would really appreciate your support. Okay, y'all, let's jump right into it. So I still cannot get over how much I like this, but my favorite foundation right now is the KVD Good Apple Foundation Balm. I have not had this for very long, but this is the only foundation that I've worn since I got it. So I like to apply this. I like to rub my fingers in here, and it'll kind of like warm up the product a little bit. And I like to just dab it on my finger and then blend it out with a sponge. And this is my EcoTools Bio Blender Sponge. And this foundation is like really high coverage, but I like applying it with a damp sponge just because I feel like that doesn't give me like over the top full coverage. It's full coverage, but to me it still looks like skin when I apply it this way. So I just wanted to quickly show you side by side. So this is the foundation side, and I don't have anything over here. So it is the wrong undertone because this shade, I forgot to tell you all the shade, it's Tan 68 that I'm using. This shade is a warm undertone, so it's not the right one for me, but because it is so full coverage, it looks pretty good on me. And it's like, I think you guys can tell that there's like two different tones going on my face, but even though it's the wrong one, like it still works with my skin. If they come out with a concealer for this, I'll be on it right away, because I can only imagine if it has like even more coverage than this, like yeah. But this is like my favorite foundation right now. The only thing about it being in a compact like this as opposed to a liquid that would come in a bottle is that this obviously doesn't have a pump, and I'm just so used to using pumps to kind of like gauge how much product I'm using, and it is kind of easy to go overboard with this one since it is such high coverage. But again, that's also why I like using a sponge, because it'll help you to shear the product out a little bit. So to me, it looks like I have a little bit more foundation on this side. Like this level of coverage I think is good, but it looks like I have a little more coverage over here. So I'm going to go in with just a little bit more over here. And that's what I was talking about like not really being able to gauge how much I'm putting on. That's the only downside that I can really think of with this foundation. So moving on to the eyes, I don't have a new favorite for my brow products or for my eye primer, so I went in with my ABH Brow Powder Duo and my MAC Paint Pot and Painterly. So these are the products that I use all the time. ColourPop is coming out with a new brow wax and a new mascara, and I'm thinking about trying that. I usually do powders for my brows, but I'm thinking about trying that new brow wax. So let me know in the comments if you would be interested in a video on that. But moving on to the eyes, this one is already done. So I'm gonna go in with the primer on this side, the MAC Paint Pot, and I like to concentrate most of the primer like right on the lid area, and then kind of like drag the excess up toward the brow bone. I don't like to have as much eye primer up along the brow bone just because I just don't think I need it up there. And for eyeshadow, so this has basically become like my new everyday go-to palette. This is the Pacifica Hemp Infused Tiger Eye palette, and I really like this because it's really small, And I love like these small palettes for like every day, and it's like a nice neutral palette. So those of you who watch my videos, y'all know that I love cool tones, but what I like about this is that it's one of those palettes where I really don't need to really think too much about what I'm doing. I can just like put something on my eyes and go. So I'm starting off with this shade here. This is called Smoky Quartz, and this is a nice like rose gold type shade, and I've been really enjoying this on my lids. So I'm gonna pick it up with my finger. I would say the only downside about this palette is that the pans are pretty small, especially if I want to pick something up with my finger. I just don't really have like a whole lot of wiggle room to do that with, but outside of that, I do really enjoy using this palette. And then I like to pick up a little bit more with a brush just so that I can drag the color up just a little higher, but not too high. And the brush just gives me more control over where I'm placing the shadow compared to my finger. So I just want to like drag it up just slightly higher than like my crease, because I want to make sure that you can see it since I have hooded lids. Now I'm going into this shade here. I'm going to put some of that on my outer lid, and then this darker color up here is going to go on the outer part of the lower lash line. So I'm going to do this part first with that first matte shade. And then still sticking with that same brush, I'm just picking up some of the darker matte shade right on the tip of the brush, and I'm just going to pat it right on the outer part of the lower lash line. And then going in with this other matte shade, I'm going to use that to blend everything out. So even though this is a neutral palette, this particular shade does pull kind of cool toned, because it has like almost like a purplish grayish type undertone to it. So it allows me to still like incorporate some coolness into my look, because I much rather prefer like cool tones over warms when it comes to eyeshadows. I'm going to pick up a tiny amount of this shimmery shade, and I'm going to put that on my brow bone, and later on I'm also going to use that shade for my tear duct area. I just want to finish my under eye makeup before I put that on. So for now I'm just going to brush a little bit of this right on my brow. I haven't been doing this as of late, putting eyeshadow, like a highlighting color, right underneath my brow, but I have been doing it like more often since I started using this particular palette. And then I'm going to pick up another brush. This doesn't have any eyeshadow on it, and I'm just going to lightly brush in between the matte shade and the shimmery shade that I have on the arch of the brow, just to make sure there's no harsh stop right there. I feel like I just saw my lights flicker. Did y'all see that? I don't know, but I think they are doing some kind of work outside, so I might have seen my lights flicker. Okay, so I don't have a new concealer, so I'm gonna go in with my Estee Lauder. I always go back and forth between Estee Lauder Double Wear and my Too Faced concealer. I have been using this one a lot more lately because I just think it goes better with the foundation that I'm wearing. The Too Faced concealer is really nice, and I would consider it full coverage. I just don't think it's quite as full coverage as this Estee Lauder one. So I have been using this one a lot more lately, and I'm in the shade 4C. I keep forgetting to tell y'all what shades of stuff I'm using, but I will have it all listed in my description box. And I'm blending on the chin and the forehead first, just like I always do. I like to let the concealer on my under eye area and on the sides of my mouth. I just like to have those sit just a few seconds longer so that they can give me a little more coverage in those areas. And then switching to my brush for the concealer. So a couple months ago I did like a current everyday makeup routine type video, and I feel like right after I filmed that I kind of switched up my routine a little bit. So lately I've been doing foundation, then eye makeup, then concealer, because I can use the concealer to help me like clean up the eyeshadow. So I've been liking that process a lot more lately. The only thing is, like, I have a lot of like little fine lines and crevices under my eyes, so I do have problems with trying not to get the concealer like so close to my lower lash line, but also get it close enough to where it's giving me coverage where I need it. So if I feel like I did bring the concealer up a little bit too high, I'll take this brush here. It's like a very flat brush head, and I like to just kind of like use this to pick up like additional product that might be sitting like right in those crevices, because I think they get really noticeable just because I have a whole lot going on like right in my under eye area. So my new favorite setting powder for the concealer is this L'Oreal True Match Superblendable powder in the shade C5. So I used to always complain about not being able to find a pressed powder for my under eye, and I don't know why I never thought to try L'Oreal, because they have like a bunch of different like cool tone powders. This is also a new brush for me. I got it from Ipsy. I really like this for setting my under eye area. I have like a good amount of loose powders that are okay in terms of the shade for my concealer, but I would much rather use a pressed powder for the under eye. I just think it sits a little bit better. So on my under eye area, I meant to not bring my powder down as far as I just did. I recently watched a video from Jackie Aina. I can't remember what the video was about, but I think it was like a get ready with me or something. And she was saying she likes to concentrate her setting powder like right in the immediate under eye area instead of bringing it all the way down, because when you do that, it does kind of make this area here look a bit more filtered. So I meant to like stop it like right here, but I'm so used to bringing it all the way down that I just did it by force of habit, I guess. So before I set my foundation, I'm gonna go in with my new favorite blush. So I love a good old-fashioned matte powder blush, but cream blushes have been taking my heart lately, and I just can't put this one down. This is the Melt Cosmetics Cream Blush Light in the shade Sandy Cheeks. So that's this one here. I used to love the Rare Beauty one, which I do still really like it, but I haven't touched Rare Beauty since I got this one. So this one, if you have the Rare Beauty blush, this one has a little bit more pigment to it that I just apply way too much. But this one has a little bit more pigment to it, so I think it's definitely easier to build up for people who like a natural looking flush of color, but you still don't want your cheeks to look like overly blushed. These smell good too. I didn't notice the smell until now, but yeah, these smell like, they have like a sweet smell to them. For some reason, I'm just noticing that. But yeah, I just love the way that this just like blends right in with my foundation. And I'm wondering if, you know, the foundation that I have on today is cream and then the blush is cream. So I guess that's part of it, that they just work so well together because they're two cream products. So I feel like today I'm going to mix in a little bit of this shade too. This is Polished. So this one is more of like a reddish tone type blush, and I usually don't like colors like this, but I do really like this one. So I think I'm going to take just a tiny bit of this one and layer it right on top. This one does have like a very faint shimmer to it also, but the first color that I used doesn't have any shimmer in it. So I put on just a little tiny bit of this color, so you may not even notice a difference. I can tell like in my mirror, but on camera you may not be able to tell that I added that extra color in. Now to set my foundation, so I do still really like my Sephora Micro Smooth powder, and that's the one, this is the one that y'all see me use all the time. I do still really like this. So this powder, this is the Kosas Cloud Set powder. I'm not going to say that this is like my new favorite. I feel like I've been using it more lately just because it's new, you know, and I'm just like excited about using something new. But I do really like this one too. Now I have been using the Sephora one more because I've been testing out some new foundations, and I like to stick with my staple concealer and setting powder when I'm using a new foundation. So the Sephora one is definitely like my staple setting powder. This one though, I do like it, so I have been using it a bit here and there, but like I said, I'm not going to say that this is like my new favorite. I'm not going to say that I like it more than the Sephora one, but I do really like it. So whenever I wear a cream blush, because I have been using those lately, I like to set everywhere else on my face first. So I'm kind of like setting around that cream blush. And then I like to just take the residual product and then just dab it over the cream blush last. Number one, I don't want to accidentally pick up some of the cream blush and get it everywhere else. But also the cream blushes, they usually give you like a little bit of glow or sheen on your cheeks, and I'm going to keep that. So I like to set the cream blush last. So next I'm going to set everything with my Fenty setting spray. This is called the Makeup Refreshing Spray. So I haven't really been using setting sprays too much lately, just because in the wintertime I feel like I really don't need them. I feel like the cold air is enough to like set my makeup in place. So I feel like I could still get away now with the type of weather that we're having. I think I can still get away with not using a setting spray, but the past couple of times that I did my makeup, I did use one. So I'm gonna go in with this. This isn't new either. This is a product that I've used quite a bit lately. I don't really test or buy new setting sprays all like that. I probably only have like 4 that I rotate through, but this is definitely my favorite. My favorite thing about this is the mister. Like, it just gives you like a really nice even mist on your skin. Now, I wouldn't say that this is good for like actually keeping your makeup locked in place, but it doesn't really claim to do that anyway. It's more of like a refreshing mist, you know? So if you're looking for something more so to help keep your makeup stay in place on your face, I wouldn't recommend something like this for that. It's more so to just like, you know, refresh your makeup. Okay, I'm gonna do my eyeliner and mascara off camera. So my new favorite eyeliner is the one from Fenty Beauty. It's not a new product at all. It's just new to me. This is the Flyliner liquid liner in Cause I'm Black. So I'm going to use this for my eyeliner. And now lately I have been using the Benefit They're Real magnet mascara a lot. This is the mini one. And I've also been using the Pat McGrath mascara a lot. I feel like I probably have been using this the most lately, but neither one of those are like my favorite. My favorite still is this Essence Lash Princess mascara, and it's only $5. I still feel like nothing that I have tried beats this $5 mascara. Those other two are really nice, but I just don't think that they're as nice as this one. So I'm gonna do both of these off camera, and then we will come back and finish up with some lips. Okay, real quick before we move on to lips, I'm gonna go back into my eyeshadow palette. I'm gonna pick up this shade again. So this is the same shade that I use on the brow bone. I'm gonna take some more of that and put it in my inner corner and just kind of let it slightly drag up on the lid. Okay, I already sprayed my face, but I forgot all about bronzer. I don't know how I did that, but I'm going to go back to that now. So my favorite bronzer right now is the Essence Sun Club Matte Bronzing Powder Palette. And I really like this because I'm getting 3 bronzers in one. I mean, I'm really getting 4, but I use 3 out of the 4 all the time. So I usually use these 3 shades here. So I'm going to put this deeper one on my forehead, and then I'm going to put the second one on my cheeks. So I'm going to start out with this one here. I don't know how I did that because the bronzer is sitting right in front of my face and I just went right past it. But anyways, I like to put this deeper shade on my forehead, and then just using that same brush, I just turn it to the clean side, and then I go in with the next deepest shade, and I like this one for my cheeks. And then I'll just take some residual product and then just brush it like right on my jawline here. And then I'm gonna pick up this shade here, and I like to use this for my nose. So this shade over here, I don't really get any use out of, but I do still like this palette because I have 3 other shades that I can get some use out of with this one. And the reason I like using the lighter shade on my nose is because I like a really subtle bronzer. I like subtle bronzer everywhere that I apply bronzer, but definitely on my nose. And then I like to take whatever I use to apply my foundation and then just pounce it right back over the bronzer just to soften it out even further. Okay, and just because I'm gonna go in with a little bit more of my Fenty spray. I really like this stuff. I like spraying it. Okay, just a little bit more to help that bronzing powder kind of like melt into the rest of my makeup. Okay, so now to finish everything off with our lips. So I usually feel like a lip liner is not really something that you need to splurge on because it's just a lip liner, but I have to admit I've really been liking this one, and it is a high-end liner. This is the Lawless Beauty Forget the Filler Definer Liner in the shade Honey Rose. So this is what the shade looks like. It's like a purplish brownish type color. So I'm going to start with lining my lips with this. I'm going to take some of this other lip gloss off first. Okay, I'm going to line my lips with this. And then I'm just rubbing my lips together just to smear that liner out a little bit. There probably are some other really good drugstore liners out there. I do really like the NYX one, and I have a couple from LA Girl that I like, but I do really like this one. I feel like I'm gonna go back and get this in like a couple other shades. Okay, and between these two Fenty lip glosses, so we have the shade Mauve Wives, and then we have Cupcakin', which just came out a few days ago. I don't really have a favorite between these two, but I do feel like I'm liking Cupcakin' like more and more each time I wear it. Today is only going to be like the third or fourth time that I'm going to put this on, but I'm going to finish everything off with Cupcakin'. But I like both of these lip glosses with this particular lip liner. I think they pair very well together, but I'm going to go in with Cupcakin' for today. And I like to apply the lip gloss in the center of my lips first. And then I like to take a little bit more and then go over the liner with it as well. Okay, and here is my completed spring makeup look using all of my current favorites. I really hope that y'all enjoyed this video today. If you did, please let me know by giving me a thumbs up. Make sure you subscribe before you head out, and I will see y'all back here for my next video. Until then, take care. Have a good one, y'all. Bye.